Hello everyone, and welcome to Multiplying and Dividing Integers. This will be Module 2, Lessons 6 and 7. So our rules for multiplying and dividing integers are if the signs are the same, our answer is positive, and if the signs are different, the answer is negative. So please go ahead and click pause and copy those down for me. So to help us remember these integer rules, I like to draw what I like to call the angry Dorito man. Okay, looks like this. Actually, let me use a pen instead. So the angry Dorito man. The reason I call him the angry Dorito man is because you draw a negative sign up here and a negative sign up there, and those look like squinty eyes. And then you draw his little mouth, and it looks like he is just not happy. Okay, it's like a Dorito, squinty eyes, a little mouth at the bottom. And the reason why I draw this angry Dorito man is because it helps us know how to use our rules. For example, or it's like a reminder of our rules. If I give you the problem -2 times -3, I am dealing with two negative numbers, answers that have the same sign. So you would take your hand, obviously I can't show you what to do with your hand, so I have to show you your marker with my marker. But you would take your hand and cover up the sign of the numbers that you have. Because both of my numbers are negative, I would cover up two negatives. So like your hand is blocking this. And what's left is this positive sign. So my answer is going to be +6. Okay, let me erase all of that so I can show you again. My answer was +6. Now, let's do this if I gave you the problem 10 divided by -5. So, again, I'm going to take my marker. I'm just going to color over a positive number and a negative. And what's left over? We have this negative sign left over, so my answer is going to be -2, because 10 divided by 5 is 2. Okay? I hope the little angry Dorito man helps you. I will explain that again tomorrow in class because it's kind of hard to visualize on a video. But let's move on to a couple of example problems. Oh, real quick. I forgot to tell you guys this key point that I have down here at the bottom. It says, do not mix up with adding integer rules. The song that we sing, the same signs add and keep, different signs subtract, those are only for adding and subtracting integers. For multiplying and dividing, we have a different set of rules. And I know it's confusing. We will do some activities over the next 2 days to help you really understand the multiplying and dividing integers. But let's go over the slide and look at some multiplying integers examples. Now, what I want you guys to notice for all 4 questions, by the way, you are copying down the title and the 4 questions, but for all 4 questions, I use the same numbers, and all we're going to pay attention to right now is the signs. So number 1, I have +2 times +3, and I hope you all know 2 times 3 just gives us 6. Okay. Number 2, I have a -2 times 3. So if I have a negative times a positive, is my answer going to be positive or negative? I hope you talked back to my video and you told me that the answer was -6. Let's look at number 3. I have +2 times -3. A positive times a negative, what sign is my answer? It's -6. And last one, I have -2 times -3. Now, these numbers have the same sign, a negative times a negative. So that's going to give us a positive answer. So negative times a negative is positive, and positive times a positive is positive. And if our signs are different, so if just one of them is negative and the other is positive, our answer will be negative. And like I said, we will do some practice with that in class to make these rules make more sense. To our dividing examples. Just like with multiplying, I did use the exact same numbers, so we can just pay attention to our signs. Number 1, I have 12 divided by 4. 12 divided by 4 is 3. Those are the same sign. They're both positive, so my answer is positive. Let's look at number 2. I have negative 12 divided by 4. Well, I know 12 divided by 4 is 3, and because I have a negative divided by a positive, my answer is negative. So negative 12 divided by 4 is negative 3. Number 3, I have 12 divided by negative 4. So 12 divided by 4 gives me 3, but because one of the variables is negative and the other is positive, my answer is negative. Oops. And then last one, number 4, I have negative 12 divided by negative 4. Again, I'm just going to look at my absolute values for a second and say 12 divided by 4, I know that's 3. Then I'm going to think about my sign and say negative divided by negative. If they're both the same sign, my answer is positive. And again, please be careful not to mix that rule up with adding and subtracting integers. The same sign, the answer is positive, is only for multiplying and dividing. So you guys know what's next after your after your example problem. You have your try-it problems. I set your try-it problems up just like the examples. So good luck. Click pause and go ahead and try these on your own. All right, I hope that you guys got all of those right. Let's go through it. 20 divided by 5, they're both positive. My answer is positive, and that's going to be 4. Number 2, negative 20 divided by 5. I'm just going to look at the absolute values for a second. 20 divided by 5 is 4, but that 20 is actually negative. And if one of them is negative, then my answer is negative. Number 3, I have 20 divided by negative 5. Just like number 2, if one of my numbers is negative, my answer must be negative, and 20 divided by 5 is 4. Right, number 4, I have negative 20 divided by negative 5. Two negatives divided together will give us a positive answer. So my answer is positive 4. Now on to the multiplication side. So 4 times 6, number 1, 4 times 6, that's going to be 24. And they're both positive, so my answer is positive. Number 2, I have negative 4 times 6. If one of them is negative, then my answer is negative. Okay, so 4 times 6 is 24. 4 times negative 6, again, I have a negative 6 and a positive 4, so my answer is negative this time. Last problem, negative 4 times negative 6 is going to be positive 24. Because a negative times a negative equals a positive. Now, tomorrow in class, we will do some more practice with these. We will be looking at patterns, at why a negative times a negative equals a positive, because I know that doesn't make sense. And you can bring any questions that you have to me, and I would love to answer them. See you all tomorrow.